My first big skiing trip ever was with my best friends, Sarah, Lena, and Emily. We were so excited. It was winter break, and we'd booked a cozy Airbnb cabin in a small town called Snowmass, just minutes from Aspen Mountain. None of us were pros at skiing. Honestly, I had only tried snowboarding once before, and that too ended with me tumbling down a bunny hill again and again. But I was excited to try again. When we landed in Snowmass, it was already night. We took an Uber straight to the cabin. It was beautiful. Warm wooden walls, 4 bedrooms, and best of all, a hot tub overlooking the snowy forest. That first night, we just unpacked, grabbed drinks, and visited a small local bar. It was chill, quiet, exactly what we needed. The next morning, we hit the slopes, rented gear, got suited up. The mountain wasn't crowded, which should have made me feel better, but I was terrible. Falling, sliding, getting stuck in snow. I couldn't even make it down a beginner run without falling flat on my face. Eventually, I gave up. I just sat off to the side of the slope, watching everyone else glide past me like pros. That's when a guy stopped near me. He seemed clumsy, just like me. He asked if I was okay. I nodded, tried to be polite. He smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. It felt strange, forced. He chatted, asked small questions, stood there awkwardly like we were waiting for coffee, not sitting halfway down a frozen mountain. Eventually, I stood up, said, "Nice talking to you," and slid away, hoping I wouldn't see him again. But I was wrong. But a few minutes later, after falling 2 more times and sitting again to catch my breath, I saw him approaching me again. He moved slowly, awkwardly unstrapped his snowboard, and sat down just a few feet away. His tone this time was different. He said something like, "I'm not used to seeing such pretty girls out here, especially ones like you." That sent a chill down my spine. Because here's the thing. I was covered head to toe. Ski mask, goggles, helmet, no face visible. He shouldn't have known. Then he asked me who I was with. I lied and said, my boyfriend. But he smiled, a crooked, knowing smile, and said, "I saw you come with just girls." That's when the alarm bells in my head started ringing loud. He had been watching us the whole time. I looked at him and said loudly, "Ew." Then I stood up, determination kicking in. I snowboarded faster and better than I ever had. Maybe it was fear, maybe it was anger. When I finally reached the bottom, I rushed inside the lodge and grabbed my phone. I texted our group chat. Then I called Lena to tell her everything. We all agreed to call it a day early. By 3 p.m. we met back at the Airbnb, returned our rental gear, and headed back. That evening, we got dressed and went to dinner in the village. Afterwards, we visited a few local bars. By the time we got home, we were tired but happy. We changed into swimsuits and spent about an hour in the hot tub on the deck. Laughter filled the cold night air as snowflakes fell softly around us. It felt like a perfect ending to the day. But when everyone went to their rooms, I stayed up. I'm an insomniac, and even though I was a little buzzed, I wasn't sleepy. I lay in bed, scrolling TikTok, when suddenly I heard footsteps in the common area. Wooden floors creaked. At first I thought it was one of my friends getting water. But then, the doorknob to my room slowly started to turn. That wasn't normal. Why would one of them try to come into my room? My hands were shaking. I texted our group chat immediately. "Hey, who's outside my door?" No reply. Silence. I pressed my ear against the door. I could hear footsteps, soft, careful, moving from one room to another. And then Silence again. I unlocked the door slowly, gently twisted the knob, and cracked it open, just enough to peek into the hallway. That's when I saw him, a tall, dark silhouette, moving from one bedroom door to the next, twisting the knobs. He was inside our Airbnb. I shut my door, locked it, and backed away, my heart pounding in my ears. I grabbed my phone and called 911, whispering as quietly as I could. The operator told me to stay calm, stay quiet, and help was on the way. That's when he knocked on my door. Soft taps. But the knob started twisting again. He was trying to get in. I was whispering into the phone, begging them to hurry. The operator kept saying, "Stay calm, they're almost there." But I couldn't take it anymore. I screamed, "Get out of here! I'm on the phone with 911!" Silence. Then, in a low, mocking voice, he said, "Okay, sweetheart." And I heard his footsteps slowly walk away. I stayed frozen. Minutes later, I heard my friends messaging me. They were awake now, terrified. But I told them, "Don't come out." 10 minutes felt like a lifetime. But finally, I heard a loud knock. This time, it was the police. They entered and cleared the house. But he was gone. No forced entry, no broken windows. He had slipped in quietly, just like he slipped away. The next day, we couldn't shake the feeling. Was it that same man from the mountain? Had he followed us, watched us? It's very possible. That voice, it felt the same. We left that Airbnb early, got a partial refund, and spent our last day in a small motel. We never snowboarded again on that trip. Seeing later, my dad once told me, "Don't be afraid of ghosts. Be afraid of the living, because they can actually hurt you." Now, I understand exactly what he meant. If you like my videos, please subscribe my channel.